In today's Google Sheet video, we are going to discuss if function. If it's a conditional function, that is, you have to pass a condition or logical expression. If that logical expression meets, this is a complicated one, let me get a simpler one. Like here, if a condition meets, it gives out a result. If it does not meet, it gives out another result. So this is the very basic format of if function. We will discuss starting from the very basic. We will add comments and we'll accommodate multiple if statement. We'll accommodate. We'll see how we skip this multiple if statement and use if statement. Then we will take care of invalid data, blank data. We'll also use the and or operator. We have used this comparison operator here, and then use count A and min max to get the result and refine the result to accommodate all the different conditions. That is, I want to give someone A plus for certain condition, and then A, maybe this person was sick so he needs a referral, and so on and so forth. So let's get started. In its basic form, if function uses a condition or a logical expression and returns one of the two values. If true, it will return the first value. If false, it will return the second value. So how do you write the condition or the logical expression? So you have to compare one cell's value with something else, another cell's value possibly, or any arbitrary value. And how do you compare that? You use comparison operator or logical operators. These are the comparison operator: less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to. This is how you write not equal to. Then less than and equal to, always write the less than or greater than before equal to for this kind of expression. Then greater than or equal to. We also use logical operators like and, or, and not. That is, if both the condition meets, it gives out certain output. If either of the condition meets, and for not, neither of the conditions meet. Let's try an example, a simple one. As always, to write a function, you start with an equal sign and the function. Now starts with a bracket. I have to specify a logical expression. In this case, I want to compare this cell value, which is B2. What's the condition? For example, I want to know if this cell's value is greater than and equal to 90. I want to do something with the score of English literature of this particular student. So if it is greater and equal to 90, I want to give him A grade. So I write A. If it is not, for this moment, I just want to say pass, because there are other grades we are not going to cater right at this moment. So either A or pass. So these are the only two values that I can generate from an if statement. Later on we will see how we can add more if statements for different criterias. But for now, let's see what happens. See here, it's greater than 90 AA. This is not greater than 90, so just pass. So you see, this is how if statement works. So before we go on to give each of these code different grades like this, A, B, C, D and so on, let's do something else. Let's add a comment based on the score, that is pass an arbitrary value. In this case I want to say if the score is above 80 gets a certificate, if it is not or less than 80 needs improvement. Let's see how it works. Let me delete this. Also hide some of the data. Let's see this so that I can see more. Hide. Okay. Hide. Okay. Here equals to if logical expression, as I said before, this cell greater than and equal to 80. If this person gets greater than and equal to 80, I want to comment something with the name of that student. I want to add a comment with the name of the student. How can I do that? I use concatenating function ampersand. Let's see how it is done. You write the cell address. This is how you get the name, then the ampersand sign. This concatenates with whatever I'm going to put right after this ampersand. Double quote, a gap, so that after the name there is a gap. Gets a certificate. And then the other condition, that is if it is false, this is if it is true. If this condition meets, it gives out this result. But what if it does not meet? Then what does it do? Again, the name of the student in A2, concatenate with the another comment. Let's say needs improvement. Needs improvement. So let's see what happens. See, you get the name, a space, gets a certificate, gets a certificate. Okay. Spelling mistake. So gets a certificate and then needs improvement. Now this is blank, that's why it is greater, it is less than 80, so it needs improvement. This 73 is also less than 80, so it also needs improvement. So you can see I get two different data like this, just simple arbitrary value, and then I can also add a cell's value with another arbitrary value to give a different kind of result. Now let's see how we can accommodate multiple conditions. We have to use multiple if statement, if function. This is one way. This is also called nested if. We used to use this before this ifs function came, but let's do this first so that you understand what ifs is. Okay, you start with the first if. Now here precedence is very important. You have to qualify the condition, logical expression, the first logical expression that has to be considered first at the very beginning, then the second condition, then the third condition. So you have to say, if you just put the fail condition first and then go on to do the 90, 80 and 70, it's not going to work. You have to see how this condition flows. You have to consider the outermost condition first and then go further in. Let's see how it works. So we want to compare the value of this particular cell B2 equals to, greater than and equal to, like this one, forget about what's written here, greater than and equal to 90, then give the student A grade. After this, instead of saying if it is false, pass like before, we put in another if statement. If bracket, now again B2, we are comparing with B2 for this particular row, greater than equal to, equal to 80. Then give him grade B and so on. Another if statement. If this condition is not met, what do I do then? Another if statement where it says B2 greater than and equal to, always write greater before equal 70. Then if it is 70, between 80 and 70, he gets C, inside the double quote, of course. Then again the last if statement where I say if B2 is greater or equal to 50, then the student gets a D. At the end you have to say if all these conditions do not meet, what does the student get? Fail. Now you have to close all the brackets. You can see from this indicator that I have closed this bracket. Then from here you can see I closed this bracket. There are two more. Let's see. See this and this. So now you know you have closed all the brackets, autofill, and you can see if I change to 55, it is D, 45, it is fail. So this is how you grade different numbers based on your grading system. One thing you may not have noticed is this is a 20, but its student still gets A. Why? See, this is not 0. 0 is this one. This is oh, this is not a number, this is a text. Now I have not yet accommodated this mistake. We will see how it is accommodated later on. Here, invalid data and so on. Also here, but we will see that later on. But for now, let's go on with this one. Let's take the mistake as it is. This way of writing multiple if statements inside another if statement, then inside another if statement, and so on and so forth may be very complicated for a very long, too many conditions, when you have to meet too many conditions, like this one. For that we have if statement. Now here you have to write if or ifs only once, then write the condition. If that condition meets, what to display. If the second condition meets, what to display. Third condition meets, what to display. Fourth condition and so on. Sixth, seventh condition meet, what to display. And then after all this condition has met, you have to type that it's true. These are all true values, and if these do not meet, what to do at the last or the end. Let's see how it works. Equals to ifs the first condition, in this case b2 greater or equal to 90. Then again repeating the same old text. Now instead of saying if again, I just type in the condition. Again b2 greater and equal to 80. Then what happens? b2 greater or equal to 70, then C. Next condition b2 greater and greater and equal to 50. No, yes, 50. Then I give him D. I think there is an extra space here. No, it's alright. Then I have to say I say something different here. Pass, otherwise fail. So there is only one bracket. Let me close it. Okay. You see here the value is less than 50, so it gave me an error. Again, if I type in less than 50, it gives me an error. So I have an error in the formula. Here it says if parameter 9 expects Boolean value which is true or false, but pass is the text and it cannot process this. It has to be either true or false. So in this case it is true. So you see, I get fail and I get the last result. So this is how you write if statement, where it has to be if first a condition meets what to display, if the second condition meets what to display, and so on and so forth. At the end I have to pass a boolean value, and then at the end, very last, I have to say if all of these conditions do not meet, what to do. So this is how if statements work. That's all for today.